Well, hello everybody. Sorry that transition screen takes a little bit. But we are introducing you to something today that we are calling, well, I am calling. I haven't talked about this to everybody else, but Zombie seems on board and that's pretty much all that matters, right, bud?
Of course. I mean, the other people, are they really that important about it? So,
I mean, they'll probably never watch this, so no, just us, right? We make the decisions. He's the
of
DM and
course.
I'm the creative background, whatever. I don't know. Emphasis on creative because there's that's anyways. Moving on. I have no creative bone in my body. um so we are calling this Tavern Talk. And what we're going to do with this is you're going to whether it may be interesting or not, um what we are doing is we are going to be going over basically if you guys catched if you caught the last episode which just aired a little bit ago on Twitch, and it will be back, it'll be up um on YouTube within a few days. I'm trying to get caught up on that stuff. I got a few episodes of our D&D extravaganza, stuff releasing, so we got that. But anyways, getting back on track, we are going to be going through leveling my character and talking about all that fun stuff that we were going to talk about, that young child uh literally just tainted my soul and turned me into
It
something.
didn't taint your soul.
But now we're bonded apparently, so there's that. And now you get a good look at Bella's booty. Bella, lay down. um so this first episode, I just threw this away. Like, I just threw this out there. I just made this whole background. I will probably set up as we go. I may actually put up to where you guys can see us working on my character sheet as we go. So, we'll see how that goes. But first of all, while that's all in talks, let's talk about the elephant in the room, and that is what the heck happened to me today.
So, do you want me to give a brief recap for everybody?
I 100% do.
Okay. So, brief recap. Recap.
He crapped and now he's
Recap.
gonna recrap.
Uh,
It's been a long
okay.
day.
I swear I haven't been drinking.
Yet.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yet being the operative word there. Yeah.
Yes.
So, um, so the party got pulled to the Feywild, and they found themselves in kind of the neutral zone between essentially the Seelie and the Unseelie courts. For those of you that don't know, basically the Seelie court, it is more of like the happy and the light and the cheerful side of things, and the Unseelie court is like gloom and shadow and darkness and stuff like that. Typically, they are portrayed as the Seelie court is good, the Unseelie court is evil. That's not always the case. Just because something is in light doesn't mean it's good, or a shadow doesn't mean it's bad. It's just, thematically, that's how the lanes are typically depicted. So they're in like a neutral zone in between the two kingdoms. They found themselves eventually in a small settlement, and were basically told to, before you do anything, you must introduce yourself to the lord of this area,
Mm.
the guy at the big house.
The
And
the big house.
only two of them decided to do that. The rest decided to stay outside and say, to hell with protocol, basically.
Pretty much.
And despite warnings from many people, our Phoenix here decided to say, you know what? Not only am I not going to break protocol, I'm going to say, screw that staying put. I'm going to go explore.
What had
So,
happened was.
so he wandered around the side of the building and eventually ran into a small child having a little tea party with them by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And this child offered him some tea and cookies. And he accepted, sat with the kid for a bit, talked about, typical kid stuff, and they sat and they ate cookies for a bit. And then Phoenix said, well, I should probably be getting back. Politely excused himself and wandered back. Well, he gets back to the party and they're talking for a bit, only to find out that he's changed.
Yeah.
Not a lot, just a little bit. And
Well
from
enough.
about, his throat down to about his belly button, just like in a little line that's probably about 3-4 inches, is now no longer skin. It's chitin or chitin. I'm not sure how to pronounce it because, whatever.
Yeah.
That would require me looking it up.
You had Wolf on the struggle bus. Like big time with that.
Oh yeah. I know. And that was not my intention either.
Yeah, I know it wasn't.
So, what ended up happening is to paraphrase, is Blaze took him back into the manor to inquire about what's going on. Can we fix it? All the details about it. Come to find out, what had basically happened is that because he ate the cookie and drank the tea before introductions were made, that he had been marked basically by this, their daughter, the daughter of this manor, the lord and lady of this manor, their daughter, that was the one that he encountered out.
This child that was older than me.
Yeah. And was basically told, that there's several different possibilities. One, this is not gonna, you're stuck with this.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go, it won't go away. So you can just say, well, this is how it is, and you just leave it there.
Right.
You can explore the bond a bit, form an agreement, in some manner. There's different, and that could take different paths, basically. So what he has chosen to do is to sit here and have a conversation with the individual, with the child. The child is now in the room.
Which we skipped over, but now we're back, and we're gonna go over that conversation now.
Yeah, so we skipped over it because in the game you only had about 20 minutes left, and I needed to get it to a good stopping point, and introduce another character last minute. So we skipped over it, and basically, I said, hey, we'll have to have a little sidebar later, and this is that sidebar.
Right.
So
real quick before we get completely started, you guys will notice as I was tinkering while he was giving the recap, and I now actually do on the right underneath. If Zombie looks down, look over and look in front of you and down, Zombie. There, do you see my character sheet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Good. So
I don't.
Yeah, I know, but it was still funny. So my character sheet is now being shown to you guys, so you guys can work along with us when we get to that point. But we're not going to be using that for a little bit, so we're just gonna go ahead and say goodbye to it for Alvida Sane for a little bit, and we'll come back to it here in a little bit. Okay, so let's do the talk, and then we'll do the other stuff.
Okay, so now that I've I have had to sit here and come up with names.
Yeah.
The child, we'll call for a lack of a better, because like I said, this child is older than you are.
Yeah.
But being the fact that not only is she a full-blooded fae, she's also a full-blooded noble fae.
Mm-hmm.
So she is way older than you are. Not
And
by
that,
a lot, but at least several
yeah.
decades.
And now I'm family.
And so her name is Mirabelle.
Mirabelle. Okay, I like that.
And the mother who is in the room, or the lady of this town, the lady of the manor, her name is Vemtra.
Vim as in
VEM. So Vector, Echo, Mike, Tango, Romeo, Alpha.
Vimtra. Yeah, that was either Vim or Vin, and I wasn't sure which one. So okay, that's why I was
Vemtra.
having Vimtra. Like okay,
Vemtra.
So Vimtra is the lady of the manor, and we've got what was the other one? Mirabelle.
Mirabelle is the child. So the two of them are in the room with you, and you're basically sitting on, a love seat. Okay. You're sitting on one, they're sitting on another one across from you. And in between is, a little tray of, water and.
Don't say cookies.
I was gonna say crackers. But,
I was gonna say I've had my share of cookies from her for right now.
You're gonna just like, is that a cookie? No, I don't eat cookies.
Good. I don't know if it was the cookies or the tea. They were extremely tasty, but no, I'm gonna have to stop.
I don't do either. I don't do tea or cookies anymore, especially when they're together.
Yes, because it could have been the mixture, right? So who knows?
You never know. So, introductions are made.
Yes,
they formally introduce. The lady of the manor says, "My name is Vemtra. I am the lady of the manor. I am the wife to the husband you chose not to meet."
And what was his name?
And
did he have? I
didn't tell you.
Oh, okay.
I don't have a name for him yet because it's not important. It's a little sidebar.
Fair enough.
And the fact I did good to come up with two names literally that soon. So.
Yeah. Hey, Mirabelle and Vemtra are pretty good. So yeah, I got you.
She basically says that she is mainly here as a witness. That her role is not to interfere, but mainly to serve as a witness to the bond, the deal that is being struck. Yeah. If one is to be struck at all.
Well, as speaking as the Phoenix, and not as Phoenix the streamer on Twitch, but the Phoenix, a former noble myself, I am talking to them, and I am graciously and humbly accepting, my path. I chose to dine with the child, so might as well reap the benefits from becoming whatever it is I'm becoming. It's unbecoming.
So out of character. Let's shift out of character for a minute.
All right.
So a warlock. So let's each spellcaster gets their magic from a different source. Mm-hmm. Right? Hydralis and HB get their power from a divine source. A god, a goddess, a powerful, one of the elemental spirits, something that exists in the heavens or a heavenly realm of that nature.
Right.
Now, that could be a good deity, a neutral, an evil. It's a deity.
Right.
A wizard, and the best way I've heard to put a wizard is like a fantasy computer programmer. Mm-hmm. They're smart. They're intelligent. They learn the right phrases, the right symbols to produce the right effect.
Okay.
I input this line of text, I draw this symbol, I burn this offering, I get the desired effect A.
Right.
You know, they program the magic. A sorcerer, it's in their blood. You know, it could be that one of their past descendants was um, a dragon
Yeah.
or a devil. You know, not enough that they have, you know, like demonic features, so they're not a tiefling.
Yeah.
You know, but or anything like that. But it's enough that that power manifests as magical powers.
Okay.
Now,
Yeah.
you can't teach a sorcerer how to cast magic. It's innate. It's part of who they are. You can teach them control, you know, but you can't teach them like a wizard. You can't take them to school and sit them down and say, okay, you do this plus, you know, you do 1+1, you get 2, unless you're talking about higher level math, and then 1+1 equals 85. I don't know. I'm not, you know. So a druid and a ranger are kind of similar, like depending upon the system.
Mm-hmm.
Some it's divine. It
Yeah.
depends upon others. It's primal. It's nature magic. So it kind of depends upon your setting.
Mm-hmm.
But a bard is kind of the exception. A bard is like, I don't know, I just insulted somebody and I could cast magic. You know,
But it was in
they're
song.
they're the oddball
Yeah.
because they are the jack of all trades.
Yeah.
You know, so now a warlock is a deal.
Mm-hmm.
They make a contract for power. That now the good points and bad points. So they don't have to study. The magic isn't theirs.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to pray. They don't have to worship or honor any deity. They don't have to, like, oh, well, this is the code of nature or my code that I must follow or I lose my powers. No, there's none of that.
Right.
But there is the deal. The deal that you strike with your patron, and you must adhere to those terms. And sometimes, you know, that patron comes like, all right, put on the dress, do the song and dance. Come on, chop, chop.
Put the lotions on
You
the
know,
skin. No.
whatever your deal happens to
Yeah.
be, you have to do. I mean, you can disobey that, you can refuse it,
Yeah.
but
Good things aren't going
there
to
will be
happen.
consequences.
Yeah. Bad things are going to
know?
happen.
And you never know what it is. It's not going to be like instant, oh, you're dead.
Yeah.
Like, say you made a pact with the devil for power.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be like instantly your soul is theirs.
Right.
You sacrifice, you know, you screw up once, your soul's there, you die, your soul's taken to afterlife, and you're their toy for the rest of eternity. No, it may be that you slowly change. You know, they physically change your appearance to become more demonic. I mean, their goal is,
Can I get?
you know, and
Sorry. Their goal.
Their goal is to make. They'll say, "Hey, I need you to do this."
Yes.
Hey, while you're up there in this town, like I know you're going to Ravenswood. While you're up there, there's this one guy. His name's Bill. Yeah, he swore he was going to do this thing. I need you to kill him for me.
Oh gosh, you didn't
You
see
didn't
me,
do
but
it?
I just cringed.
Do what?
So you didn't see it, but I just cringed. I was like, ew.
Now you get to Ravenswood and you find out Bill's going to be a father. His wife is pregnant. He's got a booming business. You kill him, you're going to doom that mother and unborn child to whatever fate will play out for him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you said by your pact you would do what they tell you. Do you know? The goal, like for a demon, is to give you. They want your soul. Now, they can't just say, "Hey, you give me your soul, I give you power." No, they're going to give you the power, and they're going to give you conditions, and they're going to occasionally give you things to do, and those things are going to get harder.
Mm-hmm.
Their hope is that over time, you refuse enough of them that your soul is theirs. You mess up enough, and like, well, per the contract, this is your third strike. Right. You didn't kill Bill. You didn't go and steal the crown jewel from the king that he was going to use to pay and feed the homeless. And I told you now to go defile this temple, and you didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Per the contract, when you die, I get your soul. You come to me when you die. Your soul is forfeit. Now, it's all in the deal.
So is a fae a demon then?
No.
Okay.
A fae is not a demon. So there's different views on fae. And you're talking about the fae or fairy or the wee folk. It all depends on the culture.
Yeah.
That you're pulling the lore from. But one of the common tropes for fae is they are tricky. They will never outright usually say what they mean. They will so one of the common tropes is, a fae walks up to you and goes, "May I have your name?" Now, to us, if I say, "May I have your name?" I'm asking you, what is your name? It's kind of the formal way of saying, what do you want me to call you?
Right.
What is your name? To them, that is what they're implying. But what they're literally asking you is, give me your name.
Mm-hmm.
If you say, okay, your character, one says, may I have your name? And you say, the Phoenix. That's not your name anymore. You just gave it to him. The Phoenix is not your name anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They own it. So, that's why, I've read different things. That's why in some places where a middle name came from.
Huh.
Because if I say, well, my name is, Bones Baron.
Yeah.
But that's not my full name. If they say, what is your name? Oh, I'm Bones Baron. It doesn't work because I didn't tell you my full name.
Right.
I had to tell you my name is the Bones Baron. Or, whatever it happens to be.
And now, to be fair, my character's name really isn't Phoenix. It's, it's something else.
So I heard another interesting thing, and it was, the people from Spain, they have all these names. Their names are several names long. And that's why they did it. There was look, if you can recite all 20 of my names in perfect intonation and with perfect grammar, you can have it. But you're not gonna.
Yeah. I think that has to do with Rumpelstiltskin too and stuff like that. So
yeah. So I mean, it's that type of thing.
Okay.
So now you've also been told that in this particular area, those rules aren't in full effect.
Right.
So they exist and they will have some effect, but it's their powers at half or less.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're making this type of deal, this would be in the Feywild. This would be the place to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Especially
and
since it's no demons. So
yes. So, as a warlock, this no, I'm trying to. I pulled up the player's handbook and it's just formatted stupidly.
oh
Go figure.
yeah.
Well, but this PDF of it. Let's see, classes, warlock. So, if you wanted to go the warlock option, you would your patron would be chosen for you. You don't get a choice. It's the Archfey.
Yeah.
Because that's the bond that has been made.
Yeah.
Because it's basically your patron is the Lord or Lady of the Fae. Boom. There you go. And there'd be abilities that you get with it and stuff like that.
So let me ask you a question real quick. With the warlock, do they have such a things as like healing and stuff that I could get?
Healing?
Yeah, healing.
Not usually. They are not
Okay.
a warlock is an arcane caster,
Right,
not
right.
bard.
Yeah. And that's what I was wondering because I wanted to double check because it'd be kind of nice to have an extra like heal out there for our party.
Yeah.
But, that's why I was asking. So
No, they do not have any healing magics.
and I'm okay with arcane just as long as I can use fire.
So now here's the thing. So you do not technically meet the requirements to multi-class into warlock,
Yeah.
but I am willing to hand wave that because story-wise it would make sense.
Right.
Now, what that would mean is your spells would have to be buffing only. I mean, you could have spells that you could shoot a mote of fire or Eldritch Blast like Blaze does. But your to hit will just be your proficiency bonus because your charisma is 10.
Yeah.
And they are a charisma class. Charisma is the stat they use for casting spells.
And charisma for me is not very good.
So
yeah.
Your charisma modifier is 0.
Yeah, I know.
So that's why I said I'm willing to hand wave it because story-wise and thematically it would make sense if you were pursuing this bond to take a level in Warlock.
Mm-hmm.
So now you wouldn't have to go any further than level 1. However, at least getting to second level in it would be good because you get so at level 2, and I realize I'm jumping ahead a lot.
Yeah.
But looking at things that'll help you. So one thing you were worried about is dark vision, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at level 2, you get invocations, which are little arcane things that you can do.
Yeah.
Tools, tricks, modifications to your stuff, your spells and stuff. One of them is called Devil's Sight. And you can see normally in darkness, both magical and non-magical.
Oh my gosh.
At 120 feet.
Oh my gosh.
Now, dark vision only works in normal darkness. If someone casts the darkness spell, they're still blinded.
Right.
They can't see. You wouldn't be. You're like, oh no, magical darkness. Yeah, I can still see you.
Oh man.
And that's the type of stuff that I'm talking about. Is if you take Um,
That would
because you can
amp me up as a
yeah.
rogue, big time.
If you don't have proficiency in deception and persuasion, there's one that you could get that. Here's one you get detect magic at will, disguise self at will without spending a spell slot.
Oh my gosh, that
Read
would be
all
amazing.
read all writing. Doesn't matter what it is. If it's written, I can read it.
And that's at level 2?
So at level 2, you get 2 invocations, and you get more as you level up. Like the max you can get is 8.
Yeah.
But if you at least got to level 2, you could get that. And let's look at spells. So I've played a warlock several times.
Mm-hmm.
So cantrips, minor illusion wouldn't be bad. Mage hand or prestidigitation wouldn't be bad.
Mm-hmm.
True strike wouldn't be bad either. So there's a couple options there. None of them would be ranged attack spells because you're really not built for it.
Right.
Level 1, your level 1 spells, there's Armor of Agathis, which is basically you get temporary hit points. I believe it's 5 per spell level.
So 5.
And so you get at level 1, you get 5 temporary hit points. Now, as long as that is active, if you get hit, enemies will take cold damage as equal to, like, if you have 5, they take 5 cold damage. As long as you have those bonus hit points.
Nice.
Let's see. Comprehend languages, expeditious retreat, hellish rebuke. There's things you can take that would not involve you being using it for combat magic.
See, I like that. I like that we're thinking of using it to enhance my rogueness.
Well, yeah, because trying to make you let you do Eldritch Blast wouldn't fit your character.
Right.
Yeah, you can still take it to give yourself a magical, because one thing with force damage, you will start, as you guys level up, you will start encountering more things with resistance. There's not much that has force resistance.
So that'd be a good one to have
for
that
reason. The problem is your charisma is so low. You have no modifier for it.
It's so bad. So bad.
So you would either have to do 180 and start focusing on your charisma, thus sacrificing all the rest of your stuff to get to a point where you can even use that.
Yeah.
Or you just say, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to focus on stuff that can help me or the party without needing to rely on my charisma as a spellcasting modifier.
Right.
So you're not doing it to make the enemies make a save. You're not doing it to cast an attack spell on enemy for an attack roll. It's just buffing yourself or anything like that.
Okay. So one quick question I'm going to ask before we actually get into more of this stuff is, I'm at level 4. We just hit level 4, by the way, guys. At the end of our campaign, at the end of our stuff this time, we were granted level 4. And with level 4, I'm supposed to be able to get something where I can use my light crossbow in close quarters. Now, that being said, if I focus on the warlock, I can't do that with this round, can I? I'd have to wait till the next one.
You would have to wait till the next level to get that.
Yes. And that's
Now,
what
here's something that I've started doing at my with my, because like I said, I occasionally play with my brother and my niece and nephew.
right.
We've started to allow you, and I believe I said this to you guys, you can train in your downtime for proficiencies and feats
Mm-hmm.
at the rate of 25 gold a week. You're paying an expert to teach you a skill or a feat.
So I can teach them for $25. Like, well, because I know Arson's doing that now, like for the whole month or whatever, like that, or whatever it is.
I can't remember what he's learning though.
Right, I can't either. But it's something like that, right? It could take
Yes.
me a month to learn that, but
So
if
it's basically, yes, four in-game weeks of downtime spent learning.
so in four sessions, giving up 100 gold for those 4 weeks, I would be able to gain that feat by that time, pending on stuff like that.
Yeah, well, so like, it's only been 1 week, even though this is that was the second session,
Yeah,
was the last one. You guys didn't get a week of downtime for
right,
this session.
right.
And now you're in a completely new area. He's not
Yeah,
he's not by his trainer.
yeah.
So
It's gonna take him longer.
exactly. So that's the point. Wherever you're at, you have to spend a whole month there learning it. So
Okay.
you're in a small town. Can you find a trainer for that feat? Probably not.
No, I highly doubt that.
Now, can you find one in the Feywild? Probably.
Will we be there 4 weeks though?
That's the other thing is, are you going to be there for 4 weeks? Now, here's the other option that you guys can, and I don't know if you guys have considered, is you can say, we want to spend a month of downtime. We've all agreed. We all want to spend a month of downtime, and you all learn a feat.
Yeah.
That's fine. Now, there's you'd have to figure
Consequences.
out what that would mean.
Yeah.
Other than I pay 100 gold, I learn a feat.
Right. But see, I've got
So
something else with me too. You got to realize, I just paid somebody. What was it, 150 gold, and I have to pay them another 150 gold, like, and the next time I'm there or whatever,
yeah,
to be able to get information about who took me and all that stuff. So
I
I've got
believe it
that.
was you paid them 100 and you owe them 200 on arrival
Really?
because you get negotiated that. It's I believe what you did.
Maybe I did. I thought it was 150 I gave him because I only have 119 gold on me now. Unless you wrote it down. I didn't write it down, so I
Uh,
can't. I
if I
can't back
did,
that.
I lost it because I lost everything. So
I could go back and look at the VOD if I have to. So that's not a big deal. We'll figure that out because it was at the beginning, wasn't it? Like of
yes, it's
yeah.
during downtime.
So it wouldn't take much to go back and look at that to see exactly how much because I'm not one to try to cheat. So if it was 100, then it was 100. If it's 150, then at least I still have 119 gold on me because I need to make up that difference, and I'm hoping next week because that's another thing is next week, we're going to be doing the whole thing with Raven, and so
Yeah.
we're not even going to be in this realm or whatever we're going to do. I don't know. Um, so I like to think that we're going to make a lot of dough doing that. So hopefully, but
So
anyways,
I mean, you have the option. You can say, I don't want to. I don't want to. Period. I don't want to right now. uh, level up as a level 4 rogue. You can take this and then go, well, I'll do level 4 rogue next time, or I'll, whatever. You can do this any number of ways.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I think I am going to take the level 1 warlock.
Okay.
So I can build on that, and then when I hit the next level, I'll just take it at the level 4, or I'll train. And
Okay.
because I don't have to train every week, right? I just have to train within a month, like, right? Like, so I could be like, okay, I'm coming to you for a week on my downtime, but I don't have time next week. The week after, though, I'll be back. Would
No,
that work? It's
it's 1 month.
continuous. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, you would start it, and then that would be your downtime for the next 4 sessions, assuming that, like, say you found one in this town.
Yeah.
You'd basically have to tell people, hey, I can't leave this town for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Now, whether that's they all agree, hey, we're all going to spend 4 weeks here.
I think they'd be willing to do that. Would you? Because your character's going to be. She was introduced, and So would you?
And that's the other thing. You don't know anything about her.
No, I don't at all.
Technically, you don't even know her name.
No, I mean I've seen it,
Yeah.
but yeah.
But
so
she never told you her name.
No, she did not.
So you don't know.
Right. Okay, so instead of getting too sidetracked, let's get back to the main thing, and I am definitely going to take it for this round, because I think some of those spells and whatnot would go really well with my rogue.
Okay.
So, or whatever. But if we want to pull the little girl and mama in here, and we can have this discussion.
Okay. All right. So, getting back to it. Vemtra, again, she's just here to be a witness. She assures you she has no issue with you working out a pact with her daughter. She knows that by your eyes, she is a child.
Mm-hmm.
But she assures you that she may appear to be a child, but she is fully competent and aware enough to make this for herself.
Right.
So, that's to reassure you that she's not here to intervene for boon or bane. She's not here to intercede. She's just here to simply be a witness, as is required.
Right.
Somebody witnessed it. They watched the handshake and the dance and the pomp and circumstance, everything that needs to be done to make sure the pact is complete.
Right.
So, that being said, she leans back in the love seat, starts eating crackers and drinking tea and water. So, it pretty much leaves you and Mirabelle to work it out.
Okay. So how we start this?
So, basically, you gathered from Blaze, and I'm going to say, because when you pulled him aside for a quick little sidebar. It's like, hey, what is this? He kind of told you about it. So is basically, he's a warlock. He made a deal with his patron, which I have to get with him about. And you make a contract for a small measure of this being's power in exchange for what do they want?
Right.
What are they going to require you to do in exchange for this power?
I just feel like I was entrapped to do this though. Like, hey, eat this, drink this, and
I
okay,
mean,
fine.
like I said, you still have the option to be like, you know what, I don't want to do this, because the mother said you can walk away, no harm, no foul, no big deal. It can't be reversed.
Yeah. But if
But
if if I'm gonna end up with something on my chest for the rest of my life, I might as well have use for it rather than not. Like just sit there and be like, oh yeah, this is a scar I got that I decided not to use and become
well,
a partial warlock.
I mean, you're an adventurer.
Yeah,
Oddities are par for the course.
that's true.
So it's flavor.
Yeah.
Hey, I went to the Feywild and I got this cool looking bit of chitin right on my chest. Look at it.
And all I got was
You
this
know,
t-shirt. No.
and all I got with this was this little strip of chitin on my chest. Um, so, and she has reassured you that that's no big deal.
Yeah.
That it happens.
Hmm.
Um, they don't care. Uh, if you want to pursue it, that's fine. But that is between you and her.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I definitely want to pursue it. So I thank the mother for sitting in. I want to thank you for being here. And I'll definitely will be talking to Mirabelle. Is it Mirabelle? Mirabelle?
Yeah, Mirabelle.
Mirabelle. So I want to talk to Mirabelle. Hi.
Hi.
Again, I want to thank you for the cookies and tea. It was really
Uh-huh.
good.
Yeah, I know, right? I made it myself.
Well, maybe I'll try some more down the road. But today, yeah, I'm full now. So, but I appreciate you. But it seems like you gave me a little gift with that. Is that right?
Oh, yeah, it happens from time to time.
Does it? Well,
It does. Well, I mean, people don't like to do what they're told. And
yeah,
I get in trouble from my mommy and daddy when I don't do what I'm told. So,
yeah.
you know, um,
Well,
things happen when you don't do what you're supposed to.
well, I had a good time sitting out there hanging out with you, just talking, and and of course I
Yeah,
told you.
you want some more cookies?
No, 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 no,
I can go make some more.
no, 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 no. Maybe to go. I have some friends that they may like some of those. Um, but between you and I, though, I really did have a nice talk with you, and with this gift that you are bestowing upon me, it's what I choose to think of it as. At least. Um, I would like to know what you want for it. What like I know.
Oh, you want to open it and not just let it sit there? All the others, they just want to let it sit there. They don't want to open it. They just want to sit there and look at it and walk away from it. You actually want to open it?
I actually do. I think that would, I could make some use out of that for my
Wow.
friends, and I'm very big on protecting my friends, and that's why I went against everybody and walking around to protect them. Do you understand that, right?
Wow, that's amazing. No, she looks at mom's like, nobody's ever wanted to do that before. Isn't that cool? And her mom just goes, mm-hmm.
But yeah, so what what happens if I accept this gift? What do you expect from me?
Okay. So if you want to unwrap it, then then there's a couple things we'll need to do. But before that, yeah. So let's see. I like sweets. I like toys. I um I like pretty things.
Of course you do.
Um
You're like a little princess.
and um um I like tea parties.
Tea parties. Now, see, I felt like I already did a tea party with you somewhat, but I'd be more than
Yeah.
happy to do another one. As long as
Oh,
you can,
that's great.
as long as you promise that I don't get any more extra armor because of it. Are you able to promise me that?
Maybe.
Okay. I'll take that for now.
So as you sit here and talk with her, basically the terms that she is offering is this: is she says that when you go to somewhere new, somewhere you've never been before, or let me rephrase that. When you go somewhere from this point on, a new town, a new settlement, something, somewhere where people live and not just like a person,
Mm-hmm.
a home, like an actual small village, town, that you are to either a sweet,
A
like a
toy.
pastry, a piece of
Yeah.
candy, a toy, something pretty, and give it to her.
Okay.
And she will give you a special little pouch that you can put it in. That it'll send it right to her.
Okay, that was my next question because I was gonna be like, is there a way to where I can travel in between realms? Like, can I get
And
a thing of those rocks? You know?
and every so often, she will request that you attend a tea party.
Okay. Is
And
she
so,
telling me this now?
well, so this is like you're talking with her. You're
Yeah.
you're working out the terms, and um, this is basically what she's saying she wants.
Okay.
Is every single town you go to, doesn't matter if you stay, like say you're going from one place to another and you're going to go through 5 different little villages on the way to get there, you got to stop at every single one and buy something for her.
How's she gonna know though? Mythical step counter or something? I don't know. I mean, I'm honest, so I would definitely. Granted, I'm a
I mean,
thief. Well, not actually. I'm not a thief. I went away from the thief thing, right? So, um, I was an honest thief, even if I was. But so I'm not going to disappoint you. I promise that, Mirabelle.
so in addition to that, is when she had said, and you gotta attend tea parties. Now, when she wants you to attend a tea party, out of that same sack will come a small invitation.
Gotcha. Okay.
Um, and sometimes you may be required to bring a guest.
Hmm. Make Wolf come along with me. No.
So, not every time, sometimes a guest, sometimes, the invitation will tell you maybe this one's, a costume tea party.
Mm-hmm.
You got to show up in costume. Maybe this time you got to show up with, you know, some honeyed meats. You know,
Sweet.
it it'll vary depending upon her mood.
So I wanna ask her a question, okay?
Okay.
So Mirabelle, what if there's a time that I just want to come and see you outside of a tea party, maybe say hi to your family and just hang out for the day with you? If I have a day off, and I wouldn't mind.
Well, if you're in the Feywild, then you can just stop on by.
But
But I don't have the power to bring people to the Feywild.
mm,
That's
ah,
that that that's that that's a bit beyond my power.
well, if I leave and go back to my home realm, how would I get back here for the tea party, even with the invites? Is it going to be
Oh,
a special?
the invite would serve as as that. I mean, so basically, the the bond you form would, when the request is made, would basically serve as a round trip ticket.
Okay. So how about this,
Uh,
Mirabelle? What if I ever want to come and see you, I write you a little note and put it in the pouch to get to you. And if you want to see me, you can send me an invitation. And it doesn't have to be a tea party, or we could have a tea party and just hang out anyways. Is that okay?
sure.
Okay. Just checking, because I'm going to take this bond seriously, and you are a fixture and a point in my life, and I want to take that seriously. Granted, I'll probably grow old
So
and die before you become an adult.
so again, now I'm switching to out of character. I want you
Yeah.
to realize that when the invitation comes, this is not a request.
Yeah, I know. I have
It's
to.
not hey, at your leisure, this is, you must report by this day and this time.
But are you going to send that to me like in the middle of a dungeon?
You have no way of knowing.
Oh gosh, that's going to be crazy. Like, well, guys,
Because,
I got to go to a tea party. See ya.
well, because realize you're dealing with a child.
Yeah. Yep.
So now, whether that would occur to you or not, let's make that a wisdom check.
Oh gosh.
Give me a wisdom check to see if you would think about, what if you receive one in the middle of combat? You're fighting somebody, or you're in
Yeah.
the middle of a dungeon with your party. Do
So
you
I
think of it?
I just used my 3 modifier, right, with the wisdom check.
Yes.
Okay. What did I get? I got a 19.
Okay, so it does occur to you.
Okay. So let me Mirabelle, if I get one of these invitations from you, I'm in the middle of a dungeon, or in the middle of a fight for my life, uh what happens then? Do I have to accept it then, or could I explain to you later that because of the dungeon I was in, and I didn't want to abandon my friends and hurt them, because you know how important my friends are to me. Uh,
Well, how about this? Uh, you have till that evening. How does that work? Doesn't have to be right away, but it has to be that day.
okay, that seems like that would work better. As long, yeah, I mean, uh,
So realize you could still be in a
yeah,
dungeon.
yeah. I'm sitting there thinking right now. I was just thinking. It was like you were narrating what I was thinking right now. Like, and in that moment, he was thinking. um. So what if it's a really really long dungeon? Is there a way I can maybe write you a note, maybe, and say, hey, as soon as we're out of here, I'll be
So
right there.
she kind of looks at you and she goes, you mean you'd refuse to come to my tea party?
Never. I would
I I
never
I, I
refuse.
wouldn't, I wouldn't like that very much.
You know what? And I wouldn't like it either. But the only reason I would miss, like not be on time, is if I was caught in the middle of stuff. But let me ask you a question. If if it comes down to it, can I just bring my whole party with me and we can all have a tea party?
Yes, that is acceptable. But
Okay.
the next day, before noon.
Okay. So if something happens to where we that I cannot make it to a tea party, I will bring the whole party if they're able to make it, at least most of them, okay? And it'll be before
No, whole
noon.
party.
Whole party, okay. I'll just tell
Whole
them, you know
party.
what? I'll grab them and throw them in the portal, okay? So, and we will all have a tea party with you, okay? As long as you can promise me one thing.
What's that?
please don't give any adverse effects on them, like anything growing on them, please. That's the only thing I ask. Let them be normal and let them do
Well,
their
that's no
thing. I
fun.
know, but you know what? You got me. We're bonded for life, right? So now now you've got a friend, you've got family in
But
me.
but wouldn't the guy with the fin look funny with rabbit ears?
He really would. You know what? I may actually let you do that. But
Okay, all right.
could it be temporary though? It's not permanent.
We'll see.
Okay, okay. I when it comes to him, I'm perfectly fine with that. Just the rest of them. Maybe shock Alo every once in a while. I'll let you do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. Let's see.
I hope they
How
listen to this.
oh,
Sorry.
how about a third arm?
A
Everybody needs
third.
a third arm, right?
Oh
Like
my
coming right out of
gosh.
the chest. It's like a
Can,
little third arm to come and grab stuff.
can you make it to where it like all the time hits her in the face?
Oh no, she'd have full control over it.
Oh man. Well, I don't know. I'd rather just like do little pranks. You like pranks, right? You all of you guys here like pranks, right?
You see you see Vimtra, she just kind of eh. not I will neither confirm nor deny that
Yeah.
question.
So with that being said, and I just kind of like look at her like, yeah, I know. But with that being said, with you guys liking pranks, I'm all for putting pranks on people as long as they're not permanent. That's the only thing I
Okay,
ask. So I'm
you
down for
got
that.
it.
Awesome. Okay. So that's our deal, right? I will get you pretty stuff. I will get you toys and candy, maybe toys and candy at the same time. And do you like dresses?
Pretty stuff.
Yeah, like pretty, like, nice, pretty dress. Maybe. What's your favorite color?
Yes.
That's future here. All right, so I will get you the color yes dress or whatever. Something just pretty for you, made just for you in your little tiny size. Okay, and then of course tea parties, and then playing pranks on my friends.
Got it.
All right, I'm down for this deal. I thank you so much for sharing this with me because you know what I when I was a kid I didn't get a childhood after I got to, and I don't tell anybody this, but I'm telling you. When I was 12 years old, I was taken from my family. And
No.
yeah, I'm still trying to figure that out. But I know my own father had something to do with it. My mom died before I was taken. So I've I've had a rough life, but you know what? I can consider
She
you.
is like flabbergasted. She kind of looks back at her mom and is like, did you did you do that?
But can we keep that between us
Yeah.
and your
It'll be
mom?
secret.
Okay. Okay, because I don't want anybody else knowing because I'm still working on trying to figure stuff out of my past. So with your with with your gift that you give me, that may actually help me. And I appreciate that so much. So, but I'm saying that to say this. I can consider you guys or you with myself and you being in a bond, you are like my family now.
So, with the deal completed,
Yes.
uh, Vimtra stands up and out of her, like from her waist, she pulls a small knife. Smaller than a dagger, but not, you know.
Yeah. Kind of like a hunting knife type of deal.
Yeah, it's still really sharp.
Oh yeah, it's a
Um,
knife.
and she hands it first to Mirabelle, and Mirabelle takes it, and she cuts the palm of her hand and grabs one of the cups of tea and squeezes some of it out into the tea,
Ugh.
and then hands the tea to you.
Like, here you go, I grabbed it. Um,
And Vimtra basically says, "This will seal the bond. As the deal has been made, the terms have been discussed, and the words and magic are flowing within her and her blood. By drinking some of that, you are accepting these terms. Note that once you drink it, they are binding. There is the only way out is for her to permit you to leave the deal.
Okay. Well,
so
thumbs up. So I
Okay.
take the glass. I'm literally still holding the glass,
Yeah.
in like I literally have like. So I take the glass and and I look at Vimtra. I'm like, so I don't have to drink it all.
If you accept the deal, you have to drink the whole glass.
Okay. Well, you know what? I'm not. I'm definitely not going to turn it down because she just cut herself for me. So
I mean, you look down, the cut's already healed.
Oh, never mind. And I said, hey, bottoms up. I was thinking to myself, I don't say that because they probably have no idea. So I drink it down.
Okay.
All the way.
You can definitely tell that this is not. I mean, this was the tea is what you had out in the yard.
Yeah. That's really good.
But
tea.
you can definitely tell there's something else in it.
Well, yeah. I'm assuming her blood went in the tea before.
No. And as you drink this tea, it seems like maybe initially the blood when it kind of coats your throat and all the way down. It doesn't burn.
Mm.
But
just feel it.
It definitely doesn't react like a normal liquid going down your throat. Like it kind of, like you kind of feel it. It wasn't very. It was only like a few drops.
Yeah.
But you kind of feel it, like it kind of sits there and it just kind of grows and it occupies literally the same part of where the chitin is. Just like all the way down your esophagus, your stomach, is pretty much where the chitin is.
Yeah.
Right from like, your throat to where the bottom of your stomach is pretty much all right where it is. And it kind of feels like it then just kind of dissipates throughout your entire body. And you can feel that presence merge with you, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Like you now feel the bond you share with Mirabelle. And it's at that moment, for a split second, you can see her as she is. I mean, it's like superimposed over. Yes, you still see the child that, for all intents and purposes, appears to be, I mean, like an elven child. That now she appears like, like superimposed over her is about the same size as her mother, looking very regal, very much a being standing in their full power.
Okay.
And the distinct impression you get is that, because one of the other tropes in Fae is time is fluid.
Yeah.
So what you're seeing is evidence of that. You're seeing Mirabelle as she's going to be, however long in the future it is until she becomes an adult. And that's what she's going to look like.
And see, I'm not, and to myself, I feel like I'm not freaked out about it. I'm kind of like, I'm kind of like calm about it. You know what I mean?
You definitely get a very benevolent feeling. But it's still a bit alien.
Yeah.
I mean, she is an archfey. She is a very powerful Fey being that you have made a deal with.
So let me ask, if it came down to it, like if I decided to explore the warlock thing like 100%, could I, because of her powers, be more powerful than Blaze? I mean, could that possibly be a thing? I mean, not that I'm going to, because I'm not going to use it like that.
Yeah. So if you wanted to fully devote yourself to Warlock from this point forward, I mean, class wise, it wouldn't make much sense
No.
because you don't have the charisma stat for it.
Right. Yeah.
So at best, I would say at least getting to level 2 with it. Because to get a couple invocations, you can go further in it. But it's going to be limited.
Right.
Um,
I think I'm gonna shoot for level 2, and then, but I'm gonna do it in stages. Like level 4 is gonna be devoted to that. 5 is gonna be devoted to beginning. It's either 5 is gonna be devoted to beginning that next step in the rogue, or I'll be working on that 1 month of time to unlock something where I can do that. And then
so
the next level would be that again. So
yeah, so if you went to level 3, you would get basically the subclass. And that could be broken down into 3 different things. I'm just looking at the core book. I'm sure there's others online, and we'd have to look it up at that point.
Yeah.
But it's Pact of the Chain, Pact of the Blade, and Pact of the Tome. And basically, the Chain gives you Find Familiar. You'd get a familiar as a spell.
Oh, that'd be so cool too.
Pact of the Blade lets you create a packed weapon in your empty hand. You can choose that form as a melee weapon. Each time you create it, you're proficient when you wield it. It counts as magical for the purpose of overcoming resistance and immunity to non-magical attacks and damage. So that could be useful in the fact that you could, it could be kind of like you always have a weapon.
Yeah.
You're disarmed. Okay, I'm going to use my action. Boom, I'm no longer disarmed.
Yeah.
Pact of the Tome, you get a grimoire, and you can choose 3 cantrips from any class spell list.
Wow.
So that would give you more spell versatility.
But casting any spell like from any list,
any
class list, that in that manner, I could actually probably get a healing spell.
There's not really a healing spell at level 0.
Dang, never mind.
I mean, the only really one that is Stabilize, which is basically like, hey, if they're bleeding out, they're rolling their death saves, Stabilize, they no longer have to make their saves, but you don't heal them any.
Yeah, I cauterize the wound.
Yeah.
Basically.
So, I mean, and you can keep going because the more you level up, the more your patron, the more ability. So, like, okay, at level 1, what you're going to get is you get a couple spells added to your list of stuff that you can cast.
Yeah.
You also get, so I'm just going to read it. Starting at first level, your patron bestows upon you the ability to project a beguiling and fearsome presence of the Fae. As an action, You can cause each creature in a 10-foot cube originating from you to make a wisdom saving throw against your warlock spell save DC. The creatures that fail this saving throw are charmed or frightened by your choice until the end of your next turn. Now, your save is going to be pretty poor. Like right now, it's 10.
Yeah.
So, but if you chose, so say you wanted to get Warlock to level 6, starting at 6th level, you can vanish in a puff of mist in response to harm. When you take damage, you can use your reaction to turn invisible and teleport up to 60 feet to an unoccupied space you can see. You remain invisible until the start of your next turn or until you attack or cast a spell. And you can use that once per short or long rest.
That's
so
cool.
As a rogue, that would be pretty useful. I get hit, poof.
But that means I can only be a level 14 rogue, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's what I'm saying is it's all in how do you want to play it?
Well,
now, I mean,
that
if
would
you
be
really
good.
wanted to work some weird stuff, some weirdness, and this would be something we'd have to do not in this type of setting.
Yeah.
Is how would you increase your charisma? We could try, because like I said, as a DM, I'm always open to making deals.
I think the best person
to increase your charisma, then the Fae are the people that would be some of the people to talk to about that. I mean, you've got to deal with them.
Yeah.
But it's,
and I'll have to talk to them.
We're talking about stuff that's all outside of core rules.
Yeah. We'd also have to have everybody be able to agree to that too. Like I would think, right?
Well, I mean,
you are the DM.
I'm the DM, and 2, what I put out there for you is out there for everybody.
Right.
I've said at the very beginning, even if you fail, even if you've used that ring and you make your save and you die, there's always options to not die. There's always deals to be made. Entities that are willing to bring you back in exchange for favors.
Can I come back as the crow? Oh my gosh, that'd be
awesome.
So sorry.
It's more I will give you the opportunity. It's are you willing to pay the price?
I'm gonna have to get with Arson and Grim because they're very creative. And they could help me with like a charisma thing, So like how would I do it? And and what price would I pay? That's the difference. I mean, and would you, when I come to you for the deal, would I be able to say no?
Off the top of my head, what I would say is the the easiest thing that comes to my mind is they do something that allows you to switch 2 stats. Mechanically, you're not getting any bonuses. You're not getting free stat increases. You're not, so it's not like, oh, I'm giving you these free 4 points to increase your charisma to 14.
Yeah.
Because if I do that for you, got to do it for everybody. Or I make you pay some extremely hefty price that not everybody's going to want to do it.
Right.
So the easiest thing is like, I don't know, you switch your wisdom and charisma.
Oof. I don't know if I could do that though,
or your intelligence and charisma. But I mean, that's the thing is there's a trade-off.
intelligence would be better for me to do than the wisdom or dexterity, because I need both of those where they are. So I would have to make the trade with intelligence and charisma to be able to do
But
something like that.
that would be the easiest.
Yeah, that would be.
Now, price wise, I'd have to think about what I'm going to do about that.
Yeah, it'd have to be pretty hefty.
How would I work that into everything?
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay, so now that we've got that, okay, so am I done with my conversation with them then?
yeah. So basically, you feel the changes take effect, and basically Mirabelle tells you don't have to worry about this town and the gift,
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, technically by the word, you are now entering a town for the first time under the new bond, under the
Right.
pact. So she says, don't worry about it. But from here on out, it will take effect.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, and that's pretty much all they have to say.
Okay.
The mother, Vimtra, doesn't really have anything else to add. Like she said, she was only here to make sure she was a bond, like a witness.
Right. To the bonding thing process.
Yeah. Well, just to make sure that protocol was followed, that the terms were discussed, that you accepted it, you drank all of it, and and everything.
Okay.
So kind of like whenever you're signing a contract, you need a witness.
Yeah.
So
all right. Well, I get up and I thank them both.
It's at that point you get up, you leave, and then the rest of the session follows.
Yeah. So as I'm leaving that house, I just I feel so tired. I don't know if it's everything that I'm taking in or whatnot, and that's what gave me the reasoning why I did need to go lay down and stuff like that when I got back over there. So I wanted to at least get those like joined together, so that I don't come out of the house like, boy, I feel great, and all of a sudden like, oh, I need a nap. So that's all right. So now we're caught up with that. You guys are the ones that know about the story now, and if my colleagues, my friends don't listen to this, they're not going to find out the extent of my deal. I'm not going to tell them why I keep dropping little things into a little sack and stuff like that, like, and why I bought a toy or why I bought candy or a little tiny dress, and stuff like that. So they might not find out until I say, hey guys, stand right there, throw that down there, and they all just fall into the portal, which that'd be a pretty cool way to get them to go the first time. So yeah, that's pretty much it for that. Now I don't know how much longer it's going to take to actually upgrade my character.
Not too terribly long.
Okay, so it's helpful because Zombie has like control of my character sheet. So yes. I am going to pull that up now to where you guys nope, I didn't want to do that. To where you guys can see the character sheet and go along with us if you are still here watching. So all right, here we go.
So okay.
I guess I can change this back to 27 because that's going to go up anyways, right? Like we hit level 4, we actually get a maximum on our hit points again.
Yeah. So that's good. So for hit points, you can either roll or you can choose the average. Which one do you want?
Man, are you going to give this option to everybody?
Yeah.
So 1d8 or probably average of 4?
So it's 5. So it's 1d8 or 5. Now, I'll tell you what I will do. And this is something that I did in college.
Yeah.
Is if you roll and you don't like your roll, I will let you re-roll, but you have to subtract your previous roll from your new one.
Ooh, that's interesting. So what if I roll and I don't like my roll, and I'm like, oh, I'll just
So
take the
say you
average.
roll and you get a 2.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't like that. Your only option now is you either take the 2 or you re-roll. If you
Oof.
re-roll, say you get a 4. 4 minus 2 is 2.
Yeah. All right. Well,
So,
I think I'm gonna roll.
okay.
Man, let's see. It's the what is it? A D8.
D8.
D8 keeps your body straight, right? So, which one's my D8? Oh, what the heck's it look? Oh, looks like the diamond, right? Is it that
Yeah.
one?
4
Yeah.
sides, or sorry, 8 sides.
Yeah, I got it. I got a 6.
Okay. So
I've de-
6 plus your constitution modifier 1 is 7. Gives you
so I was gonna
34
say I
hit
don't want
points.
to re-roll that because if I roll it in all that, I get like a 2. Like no.
So, you have a maximum of now 4 hit dice. Okay. So,
It's cool that they're all seeing this too. I may actually
yeah,
incorporate this into the stream to where I like to change the picture of my character sheet to a live version of it. So, we'll see.
Warlock Patron, Mirabelle, the child Archfey,
Where we at?
likes
Candy,
sweets,
toys, or sweets, not just candy.
dresses, toys,
Pretty stuff.
and tea parties. Okay. So I'm going to type this on here as well. Deal. Every new town must buy something for Mirabelle and put in pouch.
So the thing is it's every new town I go into since the deal was made. So like if I go to Ravenswood again, that's a new town.
Correct.
So
If
okay.
you are in city, that's a new town.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was thinking that anyways. I was just making sure because and if I go back there, then that's not a new town after that first time.
Correct.
So
Must answer summons for tea parties by that evening.
where are you writing that at? I don't see it.
Bio,
Oh, okay.
unless in dungeon or fight. Then must appear before noon the next day
I feel like we're actually writing a contract.
with whole party. And note, summons may include requests for, let's see, items or +1 or more. So here you go.
Can I make it a thing to where I have to backdate it because I went back to her and I said, since we, I want before I left, I want to say that since we are bonded now, I want you to know my true name, but only you. And so I whisper my true name into her ear, and that's the only person that I want knowing my true name, because
Okay.
I feel like she's the only one that should know.
Okay.
So, which we know what it is, but you probably forgotten.
I have.
Yeah. I had to scroll up back to where I posted it to you originally to remember because I
Mhm.
haven't used it. Because I had it on my bio and then I took it off. So,
Well, yeah, because other people could have read it.
right. So,
Okay.
all
So
right.
there's your deal.
Okay.
Um, and in appearance, we'll say it's a 2-inch strip of chitin from throat to
Belly button.
belly button. Chitin is bluish green in hue. Okay. So that's that out of the way.
Okay.
So because of this, I can't do multi-class. I can't have your class and level as a multi-class up here.
Mm, I
So
won't let you. Dang.
no, because class is a drop down.
Mm-hmm. So is this
So
something you're going to do on like separately write it up?
no, so we can. So it just won't up here. It'll say Scout Rogue 4,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not the case. So we'll have to put it under bio,
Yeah.
either that or in your. No, we can't put it in your name because it will affect that. So
Mm-hmm.
we will do
It had to be in my
class
character backstory, wouldn't it? Or well, no, I don't know.
Rogue Scout 3 Warlock Archfey 1. So there you go.
Where's
So
that at?
there, that it's again under bio.
Yeah, but where?
Okay. So
I don't
now,
see it. Hold on, I'm gonna go back. Oh, okay. It must have not upgraded or updated with me when I was looking at the screen, but when I went back over to it, it was
okay.
updated. Okay. I was like, where do I don't see this.
Okay. So we have patron.
And just so you guys know that are watching this, I hope you're enjoying this. If you are, let us know. Because this could be something we could do extra afterwards. If we're not wanting to be done talking, we could do a little tavern talk after the stream, and we
For
could do
those
something
that
like that.
want to participate in it.
Right. So I mean, because I know Raven has to be gone by 5 o'clock Eastern. So but that
Yeah.
does, this could be Zombie and I, our thing that we do, like Tavern Talk is afterwards. It just doesn't have to be this. It could be talk about other stuff. So all right. So anyways,
So that is Warlock patron.
I do have a big question to ask you after we get this done though.
Sure.
And
So
and it's definitely something that I hope that we can do. And I'll tell you, I thought you were going to do something different with what we did. and I was hoping, but it turned out something different. So, oh gosh, ugh, excuse me. Sorry about that, guys.
Okay. Damn it.
Dang it, Bobby. A Fey presence. Warlock patron 1. Starting at first level. Oop, I went.
So then you get Pact Magic, which is basically your magic.
Yeah,
Okay. So, spells, charisma.
very low.
So, okay. So because we can't, let's see, I wonder if that's. Okay, there we go. That's how I can modify it. Okay.
It's got a modifier.
Spell slots, you get 1.
It's just one spell.
So, okay, so the way Warlock spells work, Warlock spells are different than all other classes. So, you're used to, like, okay, I have this many level 1s, I have this many level 2s, and so forth and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Warlocks don't operate like that. So, you have one spell slot at level 1. At level 2, you get 2 level 1 spell slots. At level 3, you still have 2 spell slots, but those slots are now level 2.
Okay.
So your spell slots are always, so any spell you cast is always at your highest level,
Yeah.
but you have very few. Now, your spell slots recharge on a short rest, not a long rest.
Oh, okay. That's actually pretty good, right? Because
Yeah.
a lot of them don't charge until a long rest, right?
Yes. So let's look for what spells to give you.
Yeah, because I wanted to go in cooperation with everything else that I am. So I don't want it to be just like off the blue,
Classes.
out of the blue, like like you said that Blaze uses.
Eldritch Blast.
Yeah, I don't think that would fit with me very well.
Let's see. Warlock spell list. Okay. So so that one would be interesting. So it's more meant for a hex blade.
Mm-hmm.
And you seen them use it in BG3 called Booming Blade. Um, you brandish a weapon used in the spell's casting. Make a melee attack with it against one creature within 5 feet of you. On a hit, the target suffers the weapon's attack's normal effects and then becomes sheathed in booming energy until the start of your next turn. If the target willingly moves 5 feet before then, the target takes 1d8 thunder damage and the spell ends.
Ooh,
So that wouldn't be bad.
that wouldn't be bad.
What is lightning lore? No, that's a save. Let's see. There's prestidigitation isn't bad.
So what does
Mage
that
hand
do
isn't
again?
bad. Prestidigitation.
Yes.
It's like minor magical effects. You create an instantaneous, harmless sensory effect such as shower of sparks, puff of wind, faint musical notes, or an odd odor. You instantaneously light or snuff out a candle, torch, or campfire. You can instantly clean or soil an object no larger than 1 cubic foot. Chill, warm, or flavor up to 1 cubic foot of non-living material for 1 hour. Create a color, a small mark, or a symbol may appear on an object or surface for 1 hour. You create a non-magic trinket or an illusory image that can fit in your hand that lasts until the end of your next turn. You can have 3 instances of this effect active at one time.
Oh, really? That's pretty cool, actually. All right, what else do we have?
Let's see. I'm looking at this one. It's called Green Flame Blade. Take a screenshot of the hit. Okay, on a hit, the target suffers an attack, and you cause green fire to leak from the target to a different creature of your choice you see within 5 feet. The second creature takes fire damage equal to your spellcasting ability modifiers. Okay, so that wouldn't help you because that would be 0.
Yeah. Right.
And that's a good spell if you had a spellcasting modifier. Mage Hand is good because it's a very low weight telekinesis.
Like in your
That's what I'm looking
opinion,
for.
I was saying, in your opinion, what would best suit me? Because chances are I'm going to go with your
Yeah.
because
So okay, what is Thunderclap? Okay, again, it's a save. So most of these are attack spells. So you're not going to find too many that are going to be good for you in combat.
Mm-hmm.
Booming Blade is good, but it requires the enemy to move. Now, as a rogue, what you can attempt to do is, let me look at your cutting action. Okay, so here's what you can do to utilize Booming Blade as a rogue. If you're in melee combat with them, Booming Blade, bonus action, disengage, use your movement to back away.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have to be far. They just have to move 5 feet. They move 5 feet, 1d8 damage. Now, that's 1d8. Higher levels, that's not going to be much.
Right.
Now, where that comes in is a cantrip. So it's meant that as you keep leveling up that class, that damage increases.
Mm-hmm.
So it's useful, but not great. Now, it has to be willingly move. If it's forced to move, that doesn't count.
Right.
So let's see, there's what is on off? Okay, like it says. Infestation. Nope, it's a save. So, I mean, honestly, what you're probably looking at is again, minor illusion is a save. Honestly, about magic stone. I mean, if you didn't already have a light crossbow and we're going with that, wouldn't be bad. So honestly, what you're probably looking at is Mage Hand, Prestidigitation, or Booming Blade. Two
Okay.
of those three.
So I can choose two.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
what's Mage Hand do again?
Mage Hand is so basically um, you create a spectral hand that lasts for up to 1 minute. Uh, you can't get more than 30 feet away from you. You can use your action to control the hand. It can manipulate an object, open and unlock door container, stow, retrieve an item from an open container, pour the contents out of a vial. You can move the hand up to 30 feet each time you use it. It can't attack, activate magical items, or carry more than 10 pounds.
So that would be good to use to open or like try to open a door to trigger a trap and stuff like that. If if I if if I used it that way. But
Mm-hmm.
I can only use it like I can only use it once, right? And then I'd have to have a
No,
short
it's
rest.
a cantrip. You can
Oh, okay. Use it whenever.
These are cantrips. Yep.
Okay. I think that wouldn't be a one that would benefit me.
So you want
Um,
mage hand?
I think so. Yes.
Okay.
Um,
So let me mage hand. That is conjuration. Casting time is 1 action. Range is 30 feet.
Target. No thanks.
Duration is
Don't want to go there. I'd rather go to Walmart. Uno momento. And press the digitation. And what's the other one again? The
booming
lightning.
blade.
Booming blade. Out of those two, which do you think would be the best? Because booming blade, I don't think that would serve me very well. It's
So
very situational.
booming blade would work. So here's the thing. Initially, would it be useful? Yes, absolutely, because it would give you more damage.
Right.
Now later on, it's still damage,
But that's an action.
but
And if I use that
well,
as an
so
action instead of
well,
attacking,
so remember, so you cast booming blade. You brandish the weapon used in the spell's casting and make a melee attack against one creature within 5 feet. So you attack as part of the spell.
okay.
So the attack is normal. Um,
And of course, I have to roll for that too, right?
yes. Um, I personally go with. See, it's tough because if you go with it, then you're trying to commit to every time you step forward, you hit them, bonus action, disengage, step back.
Right.
You're trying to lure them to you every time to get that damage. It won't always work.
Well, yeah, especially when the DM controls those people.
Well, a lot of the time it's going to depend on who are they focusing on.
Right. That's
Are
true.
they focusing on Hydralis? Are they focusing on, who are they focusing on? So, you know,
But that's the thing is if I can get one of those, whoever they're focused on to move back, it'd still work, right?
mm-hmm. But you're having to count on everybody. But here's the thing, not everybody can do that like you can.
Yeah, I know.
You can disengage as a bonus action because of cunning action.
Yeah.
Everybody else, that's their action.
That's true.
So if they did that, they'd get an attack of opportunity every single time.
I need to start looking at this stuff more like those things.
So,
Because
simplicity's sake, I'd go with prestidigitation.
that's what I was thinking as well, but I like both of them.
Because thinking as a rogue, it would allow you're sneaking around. Oh, there's a torch up there. Prestidigitation. Now it's out.
darken areas so I
Um,
can sneak around better.
yep. You can make faint musical notes or odd smells or puff of wind. Say you need to try to, okay, there's some enemies in a room, and you want to try to lure some of them out. Prestidigitation, faint musical note. Someone goes, "You hear that?" Like, yeah, go take a look at that. One guy comes out, and you ambush him.
Yeah, I think that would work better.
Um, small mark, like you can basically, so you can use it in so many ways that people don't think of. Like, it lasts for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
You can basically tell your party, I'm going to have several symbols that I will use, and you tell them what they are and what they mean.
And I can do up to 3 at one time, right?
You can have up to 3 instances active. So
Right.
basically, what you okay? So say you're in a dungeon. You're in the cave with the spiders, and you're scouting forward. So you don't have to keep coming back or keep using those coins. You use prestidigitation. And you're walking forward, and you basically tell them, I will put one at every intersection.
Okay.
And
Now it's
so,
remembering
like,
this.
basically, do what?
So now it's just remembering to do this stuff. I was
Well,
just starting
yes.
to get used to the other thing.
So, you what you do is you tell them that, like, okay, if it's an X, like you make it custom. So it's like if it's a X and a P superimposed for Phoenix, that's
Yeah.
stop right there. Stay at this intersection. I will come back to you.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a circle with an arrow, I went in whatever direction the arrow was pointing.
Okay.
You are to follow behind, at, because basically you could do, it's like, okay, if it's a circle with an arrow in the middle. So that one would require 2 uses. Because one is a circle with the arrow,
Mm-hmm.
and the other one is a number. And the number is how long they're supposed to wait there before they resume moving forward.
Oh,
Because
wow.
you don't want to just keep moving forward and destroy your stealth.
Right.
So if you give them, okay, arrow right,
Count to 20.
below it, 40.
Yeah.
Count to 40, and then keep going to the right.
Mm-hmm.
They keep going until they see the X. They see the X there to stop and wait for you to come back.
Okay.
That way, there's none of this. I go back to them.
Right.
And now you have to go all the way back. Because, that's the other thing is, what if you get caught in an ambush?
Right.
Now you're all the way up at the, down in the dungeon, and they're all the way in the back.
And there's a few times I've explored pretty far. And that last time where I just got caught by those 2 spiders, luckily I was able to use a full on like ski-daddle and get back.
Mm-hmm.
But
so that's what I would recommend.
All right, well, let's go with prestidigitation then.
Okay. And so a lot of people really overlook those spells.
I'm gonna have to look into them a little bit better and see what other things I can do and pull out of my hat.
So that's why, like, I always tell people, especially if you're new, take a few moments up, before the game, review your abilities.
Mm-hmm. That's the problem, though, is I don't have
what
that.
they do. I
Yeah,
know, but that's
it would have to be before I leave to go to church. And
um
usually I do the podcast and set that up. Scroll down here. Take a look.
okay.
We got that set up. Woohoo!
Okay. So now that's your cantrips. Now you get 2 level 1 spells.
Man, it's so much. All
That's
right.
only 4 spells.
Yeah. Well, I know, but still, what? Okay, what
So,
spells?
okay, so I'm gonna. There's that one. There's that one. Ooh, that one might not be bad.
Because I want to try to
That
finish this
one.
up in the next 10 to 15 minutes if we can do that.
Okay.
Because we've been going
Okay.
for 2 hours almost.
Yeah. Okay. So first one, Armor of Agathis.
Yeah, and
Its
you told me
duration
about
is
that.
1 hour. Spectre Frost recovers you. You gain 5 per hit points for the duration. If a creature hits you with a melee attack while you have these points, it takes 5 cold damage. At higher levels, when you use this spell of second level higher, the hit points and cold damage increase by 5 for each slot.
Yeah.
So it's not a lot,
Right. Not at
but
first, but it adds up if I did upgrade it.
if you kept going, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's not bad. There's comprehend languages. For the duration, you understand the literal meaning of any spoken language you hear. You also understand any written language that you see, but you must be touching the surface on which the words are written. It takes 1 minute to read 1 page of text. If it's a secret message, it doesn't decode it.
But I've got that stuff anyways, don't I?
That you have Thieves' Cant, which is part of
Oh,
it.
okay.
So that would be good. And now here's one. Um, it's Healing Elixir. You create a healing elixir of which a simple vial appears in your hand and retains its potency for the duration or until consumed. As an action, a creature can drink the elixir or administer it to the creature. It regains 2d4 plus 2 hit points. So basically, you create a potion of healing for 24 hours.
And that's for any creature. That's including myself.
You can give it to anybody can drink it or use it to give it to another creature. If it's not used in that time, it disappears.
Okay. Well, it'd be best to use that during, like, when we go into a dungeon.
Yeah, I mean that would be so if all you did at the beginning of every dungeon, you didn't use any of your spell slots except for that. I used it, you have 1. So I cast it once. I
Yeah.
got this. Somebody needs it, drink this first.
Yeah.
That's
And
the
see,
first one you guys use.
and that would be the one I would go for because it's something to heal. There's
Is that
some
what you want to go
sort
with?
of healing. Absolutely. I do want
So
to, I
that's
want
one
that
of them.
one.
You have 2.
All right. So what other ones are there?
Hold on, I'm writing it down. Healing
That shield
elixir
seems pretty nice too.
You
But I want
can't
to hear
cast
what
shield.
else. No, I'm talking about the one, the first one you talked about, where I take
Comprehend language.
no, the one before that, where it gives me 5 extra damage.
Oh, Armor of Agathis.
Armor of Agathis, yeah, that's one I thought seemed pretty good, but I want to hear others too before I decide. My dog's camera is going nuts.
Duration is 24 hours. So, like, you could cast that at the beginning of the day.
Right.
Okay.
Unfortunately, Mason Game's gonna have to go bye for a minute, guys. Sorry. Um, because it keeps going crazy.
So, Armor of Agathis. Yeah, basically 5 temporary hit points. While you have that, any creature that hits you in melee takes 5 cold damage. Just period. it lasts for 1 hour.
That's pretty good.
I mean, I'd go with either that or comprehend language.
yeah, but wasn't there any other ones besides those? Or is that it?
So let's see. Comprehend language with Agathis. With this one. Okay, that one. Okay, this one would be fairly decent for you. It's called Hex. You place a curse on a creature you can see within range. Until the spell ends, you deal an extra 1d6 necrotic damage to the target whenever you hit it with an attack. Also, you choose one ability you cast with the spell. The target has disadvantage on ability checks made with the chosen ability. If it drops to 0 hit points before the spell ends, you can use a bonus action on subsequent turns of yours to curse a new creature.
Well, that's pretty interesting.
You don't have to kill it. If anybody drops it, if it drops to 0 hit points, then you can basically bonus action. I'm going to use it to, curse that person.
Mm-hmm. So I can use that as a bonus action?
Now, it's a concentration spell. So if you get hit, there's a chance you could lose it.
Okay, yeah. So I have to roll probably a charisma check or whatever. Constitution, yeah.
So that's why I was saying Armor of Agathis or Comprehend Language, because Hex would give you more damage, but you're up there in melee.
Right.
So you're going to get hit.
Mm-hmm. So I think my best bet would go the language route, because then I would know everything. Within
you only have one spell at level 1.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least I would be able to comprehend languages, though. That's what I'm saying.
If that's what you chose.
Yeah. Ugh. That heal makes it worth it for me, like 100%. A pinch of soot and salt. Wow, isn't that nice?
Okay.
And what else do we got?
Spells. Spells level 1, 2 cantrips to that, to that. You got that. That's actually it.
That's it? We're done? Well, I mean, it's level 1, so it's not that much.
Yeah.
And we already got all the, modifiers and stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
done.
you don't get any skills or saving throws or anything like that.
Which is fine. I mean, I'm fine with that, the big thing is I'm glad we've got an extra potion, basically.
So like I said, realize right now you can cast only one of those per short
and a
rest.
24. Well, I was gonna say it says one in a 24-hour day, or I guess in a short rest.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say that to avoid it being broken, that because I know in Baldur's Gate 3 you can only do a short rest twice.
Mm-hmm.
So I will say that you can have no more than 2 of those a day.
Okay.
Or at a time.
You may need to make a note of that, though.
Well, yes. So okay, yeah, I will do note. No.
I mean, and to be fair, we don't use a lot of
Ability
short rests, at least not right now.
at time. So it's at the bottom of healing elixir. No more than 2 at a time. So if you just make it a habit to where you wake up in the morning, you cast it, do a short rest, cast it again.
Then I would have
I'm
2
actually
on me.
looking up how many short rests you can take. Okay, it says there's no limit. As long as they meet the minimum of 1 hour. It assumes a ratio of 2 to 1 short rests and long rests. But there's no rule stating a hard limit.
So I can hold 2 of those at one time, basically, is what you're saying.
Yes. So what I'll say is, to make it somewhat balanced, is you can wake up, do your daily thing, cast it, get your healing elixir, take an hour short rest, and then cast it again.
Right.
Now, you then have to take another short rest to regain your spell slot.
Mm-hmm. But then I'll have basically 3 if I go into.
You'll have 2.
Oh,
you can only have 2 at a time.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. But what I was saying was, if I have 2, and then I do that short rest again to regain it, if I use one of those, then I can recast it again, correct? And then have a second one in with me.
Yeah, but you also, right now, you would, if you do that, you can't cast comprehend language.
Right. So yeah, I get that. I'm just trying to comprehend myself on what I can and cannot do. So okay.
So basically you can hold no more than 2 of them at a time,
which is a fair. It's a fair deal. You know what I mean? So, but in a way that I can heal 2 people or 1 person to 2 D4s, that's a total of possibly 8, or did you say 2 D8s? The 2 D8.
It's 2D. It's 2D4 plus
2 D4s plus 2. Okay, so up to what? 8 and 10 per potion, basically. You know.
So a maximum of 10. Yes.
Per
maximum of 10, minimum of 4.
Right. So I mean that's not bad. You know.
So yeah, especially with your party not having a healer.
Yeah. It's the best second best, chance of having someone healing. It may be minimum, but hey, 4 to 8 to 10 can make the difference in keeping someone alive. Not to mention using 2 of them back to back if I needed to. So, which that wouldn't be ideal, but if I had to, I have to. Because there's times I thought I was going to die.
Yeah, it's a free resource.
Right, exactly.
And that's its point.
Right.
It's, you don't need to buy a potion because you have 2.
Right. And that's the thing is, what's the first thing I asked you about this was about healing, right? So that really takes precedence to me, is healing people. All right, well, that's pretty much it, guys. Zombie really helped me out with this, and I hope you guys got a little fun out of watching this, and the extra bonus content of me picking up the mantle of being a warlock esque type of character now. But yeah, we I guess that's it for us. We'll be back next week when hopefully this turns out to be a regular thing. That'd be kind of neat. Just, because Tavern Talk just sounds like a really cool thing. And Tavern Talk seems like it'd be more aimed toward D&D than it would any other type of game. And I'm not going to say which ones, So, but yeah. So for Zombie, I'm Phoenix, and we're gonna finish out this. Go to the ending screen, because why not? And
Have a pint on me.
And what's a stream with Zombie without hearing him pint out some gas? So, all
Yeah.
right, you guys have a good one.
Have a good evening.